here's another way of thinking about it. You might think, well, am I a good cook? You're asking yourself. You fail at cooking something, so you think, well, am I capable of completing a meal? And you might say, well, if all you've done is set the table badly, probably the right thing to do is to learn how to set the table and not to question your ability to complete a meal. So then you might say, okay, well, when should you move up one level of abstraction? We might say, well, imagine there's 5 things that you need to do at this level in order to successfully complete that level. So you have to cut vegetables, you have to set the table, you have to do the dishes in order to complete a meal. And so you break 6 dishes, you burn the soup, and I don't know, but you set the table properly. You got 2 out of 3 wrong. Well, maybe at that point it's time to start wondering if you're actually capable of completing a meal. But you don't want to jump from a single mistake at the higher level at the higher resolution level. You don't want to jump from a single mistake at that level to the next level, and the reason for that is that you'll get a cascade. Oh, I set the table badly. Error. That means I can't complete a meal. Error. That means I can't take care of my family. Error. That means I'm not a good parent. Error. That means I'm not a good person. That's what happens to depressed people. And I think what happens is their serotonin levels fall, right? They fall like serotonin levels fall if you're brought down a dominance hierarchy. Now we already know that if you live at the bottom of the dominance hierarchy, you live where it's dangerous. And the reason for that is everything around you is already not good and you don't have a lot of social support. So you're sort of clinging desperately to the underside of life. And what that means is you probably can't even afford a single mistake. Your serotonin levels fall, and that allows error signals to propagate up the value system so that every little thing becomes a catastrophe. Now that in itself is a catastrophe, because if you're living at the bottom of the dominance hierarchy and you're already super stressed, the additional stress that you're likely to experience as a consequence of an additional error is going to be maybe push you over the limits. But the thing is that it is dangerous there. Now what seems to happen to people who are depressed is that their serotonin levels fall, roughly speaking, as if they've plummeted down a dominance hierarchy without actually having plummeted down it. So they're still competent, capable, ensconced in their relatively productive environment, but they're reacting as if every little thing has become a catastrophe. And so partly what happens is if you provide people with serotonin reuptake inhibitors is that the propagation of negative emotion across these levels of value hierarchy seems to be reduced. So maybe then if it takes 2 errors at this level to trigger off an error message at that level, well, you're in a lot better shape, right? It's like a definition of resilience. So now you can also do that with people cognitively to some degree, you know, because maybe somebody will come to you in therapy and say, I had a bad day at work, my boss hates me, I'm going to lose my job, and then my marriage is going to dissolve. And so you walk them through it at a micro level. Okay, what exactly happened to you at work? And then they lay out the specific story. You say, well, what are the multiple ways that might be interpreted? And is there some possibility that it's not the catastrophe that you're envisioning, right? You get them to contextualize it and help them build up micro defenses. That might be one way of thinking about it. A lot of people who are prone to depression are not good at defending themselves, right? They don't have at hand the mechanisms to forgive themselves or even really to understand their own failure. Or even more importantly sometimes, they radically overestimate their own incompetence and radically overestimate the competence of everyone else. And so that's also another reason why it's sometimes useful for people to seek therapy, because they'll come in and say, well, I'm anxious and nervous, and you know, I have this amount of negative emotion and I make these sorts of mistakes. And you listen and you think, yeah, so does everybody else. That's par for the course. But they're so isolated and so afraid of the things that have been happening to them and so unwilling to expose themselves to social evaluation that they never really communicate with anyone else and find out that the level of misery that characterizes their existence is pretty much normal and average. And so just helping people learn that can often be of tremendous advantage to them, because the real issue isn't precisely whether or not you're a good person. That's an absolute idea, right? You could say, well, are you a good person compared to the absolute ideal? And the answer to that is no. But it's also not exactly, it's not a useful comparison across most situations. What you really want to know is, well, how do you stack up against other people? You know, if you're at your job, the issue isn't whether or not you're competent. The issue is whether you're competent compared to the other people around you who are supposed to be doing the same thing. Because in an absolute sense, you're completely incompetent. But in a relative sense, you might be at the top of the pack or even in the middle, and that's generally okay. So, and if you don't know what the relative status is, that's not good at all. So